Hi Disciples, today we're going to start learning Chopin's Prelude in E minor, and the part we're learning in this video sounds like this. All right, cool. So there's lots to break apart with the dynamics and the expressiveness and all that stuff. The quick version is try to play it beautifully. Don't be afraid. Once you learn this pretty simple little part here, to play it as beautifully as you possibly can. Take time. So you see at the top of the music it says largo, and that's going to mean that you're playing it slowly. So it's okay to play it slowly. You also see the word espressivo, and so you can interpret the time a little bit. It doesn't have to be, click, click, click. It doesn't have to be straight. You can squeeze some emotion out of it. You'll also see that P there, that means piano. It means you're going to be playing it quietly. All right, so the way to learn this first video, and this is going to be broken into probably two videos, two, maybe three, but probably two, is to just look at the right hand first. And now that you've got that in your ear, it will hopefully make a little more sense. But that first measure, you've got a pickup, and you've got that, it's two B's octaves. So this is middle C, so the B right below middle C, and it's ba-da-da. And you can think about like, if you were thinking about it in terms of four E and so it's like three little pieces and then one. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you repeat 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. You repeat that second note. So I'm gonna play that for you and tell you the notes as we go. All right. So you've got octave B's. Da da da. You play that B again. That's that sort of the first real measure. You're gonna switch your finger from a 5 to a 4, or whatever way you want it. That's how I'm doing it. And then you're gonna come over here, grab a C, and then back to that B for 3, or for dotted half note. Back to the C again, back to the B again. So far we pretty much only played 2 notes. To the C again and to the B again. Measure 4. Now we're gonna walk down half steps. B flat, A, 2, 3, and then a B natural. Back to that A. Back to that B natural, back to the A. A lot of repeating here. Then you can do like one of those pickups almost with the B to the A. So it's kind of like you went B to A, but you added a little quick pickup in between. So B, A, that's measure 8. And then you're gonna walk down to a G sharp. And you'll see that it's tied here. So here's where we're gonna take a little bit of a break. So it's tied at the end of that measure 8, that G sharp, into the 9th measure. So if you think about it in 4, even though this is in 2-2, think about it in 4. I'm counting 4, it helps. So you've got 1, 2, 3, and then the G sharp will be on 4, 4, 1. So it's on 4 and it's on 1 of the next measure. That tie there means you hold it down through the measure. And then on the second beat of the 9th measure, you're going to play these notes, and it's going to be faster than those chord notes. It's going to be like this. Oops, played that kind of badly. And you'll see the little crescendo up and then back down, so it's like this little swell. And it comes back down. And it doesn't have to be too much with this piece to still get a powerful emotional impact, because it's set so calm. But these little emotional swells, like you don't have to do much to get them. So those notes are an A. This is the second beat of the 9th measure. So you've got A, B, D, C, E, A, F sharp. You're going to go to that F sharp. That's the 10th measure. And then you're going to go to an A. And that's going to come back down. You'll see that thing underneath the A back to the F is not a tie, because those notes are different. It's a slur. So it's like they're connected. you want to kind of play them as they're connected, all right? And then you've got the grace note. The grace note, 8, 9, 10, 11, at the end of a measure 11 is a B into an A. But the key is that you play that A on the fourth beat of the measure, or the if you're thinking it in terms of 4. So if you've just played this F in that measure, so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. You hit that A on 4. And then this last measure that we're learning today sounds like this. And that I played the next note of the next measure just to show you where it's going, and there's a crescendo out of that part. So we'll try again. And I sped up too, but whatever. You can still play it slowly and get it. So those notes, G, an F sharp, a C, a B right below that middle C. You're going to come up to a D sharp. That F is still sharp. And then you've got a triplet here. It's a D, C, B, and you're going to double that B for the next note of the 13th measure. But you're thinking 1, 2, 3. So if you're breaking each measure into 4 pieces, as I would recommend in this case, each beat is going to have 2 of those notes until you get to the triplet at the end. So that's 12 measure, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 la lay 1, 4 la lay 1. It's the fourth beat becomes 3 pieces instead of 2. So here it is one more time. And you'll be on to the next part after that. So that's the right hand. Take some time to master that. And then I'm going to show you the left hand. It's mostly, I'm actually going to show you the chords that it plays, because you're just playing a chord and then repeating it, all right? So you've got da, 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 and as soon as you hit that second beat, the second B, you know, the first B, the B of the first real measure, not the pickup, you're going to be playing this chord. You're going to have a G, a B, and a D with your left hand, and this is all near middle C. This is middle C. So you're gonna, the same B that you played with your right hand to begin with becomes the middle part of this chord. And the rhythm is just 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that's that first measure. So if you get that chord and you just keep bouncing it, then you've got the left hand. Now the thing to remember is to line up the chords with the melody above. So look at the sheet music and look where those notes in the right hand line up with the chords in the bottom, and you'll know when to play each. So if I were to go really slowly, the first pickup measure is just the right hand, B to a B, and then I play that B in the first measure and this chord at the same time, and I'm going to count how many times I play my left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and on the 7th one I move to a C here. Okay, you see that? And then I'm going to be on the second real measure, okay? And that's going back to a B here. And what your thumb in your left hand is going to stay where it is. And this is one of the biggest moves that your left hand has to make, surprisingly. Everything else is pretty easy. Your pinky is going to go down to an F sharp, and your 3 finger is going to go down to an A. Pretty close and pretty easy. And that's right when your right hand is playing a B. All right, so from here on out, your left hand is actually, well, with a couple of exceptions, mostly making really tiny moves. So I'm going to show you all the chords that your left hand plays, and then I'll show you how they drop in. So from the top, here's the first chord, G, B, and E. The G and the B drop down, okay? You've got an F sharp, an A, and an E. And then your thumb comes down and becomes an E flat. Now in the third measure, both of those chords happen in the second measure. In the third measure, you're going to drop your pinky down to an F natural and everything else stays the same. Then, in the same measure, you're going to drop your thumb down to a D. And then in the same measure, your middle finger, your 3 fingers, is going to go to a G sharp. You see, one note at a time is moving. Now your pinky is going to drop down to an E here. Everything else is going to stay the same. This is the fourth measure. And now the second half of the fourth measure, this 3 finger is going to become a G. And then that last beat of the fourth measure, your thumb is going to come to a C sharp. Everything else stays the same, even though I kind of moved it up a little bit. Fifth measure, your thumb is going to come down. It's going to keep coming down. It's going to hit a C, middle C. Everything else is the same. Same measure, your 3 finger is going to come to an F sharp. Okay, sixth measure, you've got the same chord to start, so it's the same one. And then your pinky is going to go down to a D sharp. And then in the next measure, your pinky keeps going down. It's going to go all the way to a D here. Everything else is staying the same. Then in the 8th measure, your 3 finger is going to drop from that F sharp down to an F natural. And in the same measure, the second half, your thumb is going to turn into a B. Alright, now this part is like another big jump. It's really pretty easy. You're just moving two notes at the same time instead of one, as you did for a whole bunch of the measures before. So your bottom 2 fingers are going to each drop down a half step. I'm sorry, are going to each drop down a white note, my bad. So your pinky's going to go to a C, and your 3 fingers are going to go to an E. And this 2 finger stays where it is on that B for just a beat. So you're going 1, 2, and then the thumb, oh, I said pinky, but the thumb is going to come down to an A. And you're going to play that for a bunch, okay? Then in the 10th measure, and this is right when you're, so let me show you where this fits in a little bit. You've just played, and you do this. And you're playing this the whole time. And right when you get to this F sharp, which is the beginning of measure 10, you're going to keep the left hand where it is, but your pinky's going to move down 1 white note for the first beat. And then it's going to move kind of quick. So you've got 1 beat, and then the 3 finger drops down to a D sharp for the next beat, the second beat. And then for the second half of that measure, both of these fingers the bottom 2 fingers are going to come up a half step, but the pinky stays where it is. Alright, cool. We're going to keep going because we're almost done. In the 11th measure, you're going to just go back to where you were before for the first half, and back to where you were before that for the second half. And then back to that last chord. So you're sort of oscillating between those 2 chords to finish. On measure 12, you hold this for like a 1 count, right as you go, and then you let go. So I'm playing it really robotically. So you can see, so you play it you hold that chord down for 2 of the notes that you play in the right hand. And then you off it. You see that rest underneath in the left hand. Alright, that's it. So let's see. I'm going to play them both together really slowly and see if I can talk you through what's going on. And then you pretty much will have that first half. So it's like this, those octave Bs. And you're playing really slowly and you're bouncing on this. It's going to be 6 times total. 5, 6. And the right hand comes up here at the same time. And back down while these slide down for half the measure. And then I'm going to move the thumb down together here. The pinky comes down together with the B. And I got 2 changes here. Thumb down, then 3 finger down right as I come up to this C. Pinky down as I come to the B for measure 4. B flat as the thumb comes down to this C sharp. Then this keeps going down to the A while I come down to the C with my thumb. The second half of the measure. To the B natural. Back to that A while I keep the same chord with my left hand. And then my left hand moves the pinky down a half step. Up to that B again. Pinky down a half step again in the left hand. This is a lot, but I think you can do it. And you see this measure, this left hand, it plays the same for the whole thing. So that 4, 5, 6, 7. Measure 7, 1. Except the right hand does this little quick move. B, A. And right when I hit that A in the 8th measure, this 3 finger comes down to an F natural. Then the thumb is going to come down to a white note to the B, and then G sharp. This is the tricky part where the thumb comes down right when I start this melody. Softer. Okay, I'm gonna hit this F sharp right, and the pinky comes down to a B for really quickly, and then it comes right back up to this. It goes. Sorry, the pinky stays where it is, and this E goes to a D sharp. And then we're gonna start getting used to this chord, the C and the D. You switch these. The bottom 2 of the left hand come up half steps. A in the right hand, back to that with the left hand, while you go to an F sharp with your right hand. You got your grace note coming up here. You're going to hold this for 1 beat. And a little crescendo there at the end. So that's the first part.